Founder fans, Jason here, and today's founder is Issac Hayne. Now, Issac Hayne was a captain in the South Carolina Militia during the American Revolutionary War. Unfortunately for Hayne, after the Battle of Charleston, he was taken prisoner, as were many people after the British captured Charleston. Now, Hayne was part of the large group of prisoners who were released on parole with the understanding that they would not serve with the Patriots against the British again. So, Hayne went home. Unfortunately, smallpox had ravaged his family. He had already lost one child, and some other members of his family were sick, so he went home to take care of them. Then the British came knocking, and they said, "Hey, can you sign this piece of paper that says an oath of loyalty to the king?" So signing the paper said, "I will not fight against the king. I am loyal to the king. I support the king and Parliament." And then there was a handshake agreement, allegedly, where Hayne said he would not actually serve with the British against the Patriots. Now, not too much time later, the British came back and said, "We've changed our minds. We need you to come fight with us against the Americans." And Hayne said, "Well, no." And he ends up sneaking off and rejoining the South Carolina Militia. Now, while he's serving with the South Carolina Militia, he ends up capturing Andrew Williamson, who was another important patriot, but at this time, Williamson had actually started serving as a secret agent. He was helping the British, but really doing it to benefit the Patriots. Granted, most people in the area thought Williamson was a traitor and did not like the man very much, though, like I said, he was a patriot. His story is important too. But as for Issac Hayne leads a small group of men who capture Williamson. The British, of course, don't like this, and they send out another group who raided the camp of Issac Hayne and saved Williamson, but also captured Issac Hayne. At this point, he was sentenced to be executed for breaching his oath to the king. Now, Hayne had two arguments against his execution, and those were, first of all, well, I'm a British subject, so I deserve a trial, and second of all, well, I'm fighting with the Patriots, so I deserve to follow the rules of war and at least be offered for exchange. Like I said, he was a captain, which made him an officer, which generally meant you could be exchanged, even if you're a lower-level militia officer, as Hayne was. Unfortunately for Hayne, the British said no, and he was executed on August 4th, 1781. And you will note that this is just a few months before the Battle of Yorktown and the end of the war, which is super sad. Now, two things to note here. First of all, General Nathaniel Greene actually asked Washington and the Continental Congress to take retribution on another officer for what they called a, quote, brutal murder. Now, Congress and Washington, as they had done before and would do again, decided against this because the Americans always had an attitude of, we're not going to stoop to the level of the treacherous British and their evil, inhumane ways. So there was no direct retribution for Hayne's death. However, he, like many other martyrs to the American cause, became a rallying cry for the Continental Army and the state militias. And in fact, after his death, an argument has been made that upwards of 2,000, and at the very least, hundreds of soldiers fled from occupied Charleston to join the Patriots, helping Nathaniel Greene win the Battle of Eutaw Springs, which was one of the important battles leading towards the victory at Yorktown. So although, sadly, Issac Hayne did not see his country win the war that he fought and died for, his death probably and arguably did more to win the American Revolutionary War than his service as a militia captain ever could. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you hit like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. We put out videos about the American Revolution now 6 days a week. So I look forward to you coming back and giving you another founder tomorrow.